Thank you so much for Great.
Folks, please come forward. One of the advantages of this meeting, whether we have 25 people or 50, is it is being streamed. And we want to try to get some information out to the school system about the superintendent search process. My name is Kevin Kastner. I'm a director for BWP, which is a national search firm that's located in the Midwest. It started in the early 90s when there were 3 search firms. Those 3 search firms merged together into one and actually was the first search firm in the United States. BWP has done over 1,000 superintendent searches, and there's over 50 associates all across the United States. That's not as important as the team that we have. So why might the school board have been interested in us as a team? And a lot of that might be because we have had some successful experiences with many school systems, particularly on the East Coast, like Columbus, Ohio. We've done things like James City, Williamsburg, Alexandria, Virginia. We've done Alamance, Burlington in North Carolina. We've done some work in South Carolina. But the team we have has almost 30 years of superintendent experience. And I'll tell you a little bit about a couple of my colleagues who have had experiences in districts with the diversity that you experience here in Rochester. The importance of having an experienced team in a district that has certainly complexity to it is to be able to vet candidates, have credibility in making sure that they know what the job is here, and also to assure that they've had comparable successful record in systems like yourselves. That's important. But let me explain the process, and you become ambassadors, so to speak, to over the next several months to where you might weigh in. The process is that we will take information for 3 days where we've interviewed all but one of your board members. We're having all different interest groups throughout the community that we are talking with, and we're having an open forum like this, and we will also be available in 2 evening forums in which anybody in the public can participate. There is an online survey that you can get on the system's website that already has over 225 people that have signed in, many of them being teachers. That survey and that information will all become public when we present to the board in about 2 or 3 weeks, and we will explain what we heard in all the meetings, and we will tell the board this is what the voices were in this community. We take verbatim what people say, and then we take the most common themes and explain this is what seems to be the type of profile that will assist you in finding a superintendent, but the board then will have to develop a profile that'll talk about the leadership characteristics. There's another item that will influence this search, and I'm sure the Distinguished Educators Report and the board response that's approximately going to happen around February 8th or shortly thereafter is going to be something that the board will and candidates will want to look at. And in essence, there isn't the need for a new transition team to come in. There's a lot of responses that we've had today that say that report gives a lot of valuable information, and many people think it's a representation that people are taking seriously. So the superintendent, new superintendent, and the board, that certainly should be something that should be part of the skill sets that they're looking for in your next leader. So when we give that information, then anyone that's attended these sessions can see if we got it right or not. And if we didn't get it right, then you need to comment to that. The other thing, the way the board has designed this process, the candidate pool closes on March 10. After March 10, we would vet the candidates and we would recommend those candidates that we think meet the profile and recommend it to the board to interview. That's not our call, it's the board's call. We do not recommend in order. We do it alphabetically. The board will decide who they interview. The interviews probably will occur sometime later in March. And then there will be a round of second interviews. The board has made a commitment that the second interviews will result in the announced finalists being part of a day in the city. Within 1 minute that those finalists are announced, anyone in the community is going to check where they've been and what they've done. So you need to be invested in the process. While we're here several days, you're here every day. And your relationships with your school board and weighing in on your opinions should be part of this process. And so we would hope that you'd be in this for the long haul. Now, we're well aware you've had 5 superintendents in 10 years. We're well aware that there's a fishbowl with the Distinguished Educators Report. How all this can, in a proactive way, help the board in unifying around the selection of your next leader is very important. It couldn't be more important. But that's going to have to happen as the community is going to come together and I hope have discussions throughout this process. Our goal is to try to find the best candidates possible and make their decision hard. But this will not be an easy job. You understand there's 180,000 school systems in the United States. Only 1% have more than 20,000 students. So not everybody can do a job in a larger system. And then you add the fact that an urban system with diversity, poverty, but also great community resources and many things that your community wants to attract the workforce, you've got good things going on. We know about your early childhood program. We certainly know about your report. And we know how important the governance is in the relationship of the school board and your new superintendent. All of this you know too. So when we present the report, we will talk about the answers to 3 questions that we would like your help on for the remainder of our time. We are taking notes. We do not attribute to any one person. And what we are going to ask you, what are the best things we know about Rochester schools and your community? What are the things that you're very successful with and the qualities that you'd want to talk about if a candidate asks the question, well, why Rochester? Second, we'd like to know what challenges you're facing in your school system. And third, and probably most importantly, what are the qualities and characteristics you'd like to see in your leader? Now, we don't have to go in any order. And I'd like to tell you, my 2 colleagues here, Percy Mack was the superintendent in Dayton, Ohio, that actually, Percy, what was the data as far as the graduation rate? And it happened to be at the time he came in, the lowest performing district in Ohio. And then he went to Richland 1 in South Carolina. Paul McKendrick was superintendent in Lynchburg, Virginia, a diverse school system, and then most recently was superintendent in Tuscaloosa. So Paul has also a wealth of experience, and in that sense, We have worked in districts that have the complexity that you have here. And we do know the challenges it presents. And that's what we're going to do when we're going to be talking to the candidates. Percy or Paul, would you like to say anything? Okay. Well, we've been at it all day and dividing everything up. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Percy. And Percy, would you please engage anyone in answering our questions?
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you had a great day in school, and I don't know what the weather's going to do tomorrow, so I see folks with fingers crossed and all that other kind of stuff. So, no, y'all probably go. Y'all used to this cold weather. But anyway, the process is that we ask 3 questions for your candid responses. What are the strengths of the school district? What are the challenges that face the school district, in your opinion? And what are the characteristics you would like to see in the next superintendent? See, easy process. 3 questions. So we didn't do the 10-question thing. 3. Strengths, challenges, and characteristics you'd like to see in the next superintendent. And as you answer, you can go in any order. Paul there has his computer on, and he types about 90 words a minute. So you say 9? Anyway, just who wants to start? Who wants to start us off? Don't all y'all start. All right, sir. Thank you very much. All right. Willpower of the teachers. Okay? We've heard that one before. I know you got more strengths than that one. Okay, yes. Okay, people skills. Folks in the district have people skills, yes. Strong community partnerships. That's the strength of the school district. Strong community partnerships. Management skills, okay. Deep pockets. Deep pockets. Got a lot of money, okay.
It's a strong rank and file, but especially a strong
Young generation of, okay, all right. Strong rank and file. Feel like they have a strong group of young educators getting ready to start their careers in the process of the first few years. Okay? A lot of college. Okay? A lot of students in the district who have college aspirations. They want to go to college. Okay? All right. Talked to a young man who finished Yale today. He was one of the folks that we spoke with, graduated from the school district. I think he said he went to 17. I think he said 17. Yes, sir. Okay. Anybody else? Any other strengths? Challenges?
I'd like to share, as far as challenges, when you think of governance, when you think of the superintendent, you're a CEO, correct?
Yes.
Who happens to have strong focus on education, teaching and learning, budgeting, understanding all those different.
So that's what you want to see in the next superintendent.
How about the challenge that I see is
Okay.
you also have a superintendent that needs to be able to work hand in hand with the board.
Okay.
You know as well as I, if you have a board that does not support you as a CEO, then you're going to have some major challenges. So somehow, the governance of the board is just as responsible, should have the same qualities that we're trying to find within the superintendent, or at least have balance.
Okay.
Because right now, with this current board, there's a division.
Okay.
Even though there's a
Okay.
Which means that whoever this board selects, and then you have newcomers coming on board January 2020, if there's no cohesiveness with this current superintendent that we're hiring, I could see, some challenges with ensuring that we can keep this superintendent, whoever we hire, before this transition. Now, maybe the transition won't be as bad, the current board, but I really do believe that the challenge is the governance of the board and ensuring that the CEO, their contract is written where they have the autonomy to be the CEO.
Okay.
Otherwise, I see conflict.
All right. So you have to have a cohesive relationship between the board and the superintendent. And you see that as a challenge right now. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Yes. Okay. 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 All right. Okay. Accountability is a challenge. She lists that as a challenge. All right. So you, all right. So you want someone who, one of the characteristics, you want someone who be visible in the community and willing to learn the community. That's a characteristic you want to see? Okay. All right. Got that, Paul? Okay. Good enough. Yes, sir.
I think a positive is that we have a lot of great talent, both our students and our teachers.
Okay. Okay.
Something I see as a challenge is the working relationship between the central office, administration, and school buildings. The cohesiveness is lacking.
Okay. All right. Challenge, cohesiveness between central office administration and school level administration. And talented, a strength would be talented students, faculty, and administrators. Did I quote you right? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. 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 All right. We got 2 votes for instructional leader. Someone who has more or less come up through the ranks. In other words, they've worked in the classroom and then, so they understand the working operations of the instructional unit. Correct? All right. Social segregation and racial segregation. Is that a challenge or is that that's a challenge, okay? Okay. All right. Yes.
I say sometimes adults have a tendency to forget who we're serving
Okay.
about the students of our district, and that's a challenge because it's on every campus, whether it's support staff, whether it's educators, the teachers, principals, people in leadership sometimes have a tendency to forget that even though they say they don't, and they say it's on behalf of the kids, but a lot of times our emotions get caught up into things that we have a tendency to forget that we're here to serve the students at the school.
Okay. All right. Challenge. Sometimes the students are forgotten in the overall process. Can't forget them.
We are, the fifth force in the country. The mindset seems to be focused more on the deficit approach versus
Okay.
And I understand that poverty can have an impact. However, I believe as an institution, educational system, we really got to shift the mindset to focus on what our kids are capable of doing, because there's intellectual capacity too. We tend to focus a lot on social emotional, not to say that that's bad, but I believe that we need to have a balance, and it has to be community-wide, not just the educational system, because we have some very, very bright students, and if we gave them the same resources that others have, it's amazing what our kids are capable of doing.
Okay.
So I think we need to get away from that mindset of constantly focusing on the deficit of our children. That includes how we train teachers. The cultural competency piece is critical so that when we do hire folks, I think one good thing that I feel as a district, we were able to institute more training, more consciousness related to the issue of race, which is a very, very difficult thing to deal with.
Okay.
Because anytime you deal with race, it's very sensitive. So I would like to see the next superintendent buy into the continuation of that type of training for new employees, for teachers, administrators, to ensure that we get people that understand our students. So don't just focus on the negative, build on their strengths.
Okay. So in other words, focus on what students can do versus what they can't.
What they can.
All right. Or what they might not.
Right.
Not so much what they can't.
It's a mindset, not just with our educational system, it's across other systems.
Yeah. I think that's very important. I just want to say something about your point. I think about my Sunday school teacher. She's 103 years old, by the way, and she still knows everyone who came through that Sunday school class. And she taught the boys' class, and she would tell us every Sunday we were going to be somebody. I mean, just every Sunday. When you think about brainwashing, you think negative, don't you? But it's positive brainwashing. And she told each one of us, you're going to be somebody. And it was our intention to make her right because we didn't want to disappoint her. If you go to Tremont Temple Baptist Church right now, she'll be sitting in the same pew she's always sat in. She just stopped driving a minute ago. I know all the drivers in Savannah are glad, but she drove up into the mid-90s. Her grandson drives her to church now, but she doesn't miss a Sunday. So your point is absolutely correct. Yes, sir.
I wanted to say, one of the challenges for our district is our unions.
Okay.
Our unions are very powerful.
Okay.
When you start talking about teachers and, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm just gonna be frank with you. We have horrible cases of racism within our district. And we have these cultural conflicts in our district that we don't talk about. Let me give you an example. Say 85% of our teachers come from the suburbs, right? They never had any interrelationships with urban families. They go to college, they come from well families, they go to college, they get educated, they teach them how to teach. But that cultural piece is missing. So when they're inside the classroom with these kids, do they really understand them? Most of our kids learn from a relationship model. Is the relationship model being used? No. And how do we view our parents? Let me give you an example on that. Some of the things that happen inside of the district every single day, they would never happen in Webster. And the teachers would never speak to the parents like that in Pittsburgh. They would never do it in Henrietta. But it's done here and it's been tolerated over and over and over again. And we don't talk about it.
Okay.
Well, this afternoon you might hear me talk about some things that other people don't talk about because the new superintendent coming in.
Yes, sir.
We need to talk about this stuff. And this superintendent needs to know what they're facing coming in. When I talk about the unions, you're not going We can sit around and talk about all this good stuff all we want to when the rubber meets the road. We're not talking about the things that were created before we were even born, that are still here affecting the system. But we're not talking about them, we're not getting anywhere.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Yes.
Another issue, even though one of our core values is equity, and when I speak of equity, I'm talking about all schools. You go to some schools, the resources that are available for students are just outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
Versus you go to other schools, they're just struggling to get by.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers don't have the supplies they need, the things that they need. And so when I speak of equity, I'm talking about just across the board.
Got you.
Because that's why you have parents that are fighting to have their kids in certain schools.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's a better school. Whereas if there's equity across borders, they can go to that school in their neighborhood and know that they're going to get a top-notch education, just like if they went across town.
Yes.
So,
All right. Equity is a challenge. All right. Yes, sir.
So, characteristics of the next superintendent. I agree with a lot that was said, that qualifications and things and having an understanding of the curriculum and business is great. I think we also have to weigh just as equally to that as intangible. I think the next superintendent should have a collaborative spirit. So that person will need to be able to work with the union president, work with community organizations, work with the city, and work with other entities. And then on top of the collaborative spirit, they have to be able to understand what culture is and how to set culture. Because it comes from the top down. But one of the things about fear and intimidation that is said in the report, the superintendent can be a leader and set the culture for the district. And so with that, having a collaborative spirit and setting the culture, they can make sure the way that they lead, their executive cabinet is leading, the chiefs are leading, and every other management person is leading, understanding that you can't manage everybody the exact same way. You have the educators here, you have people that have community backgrounds here, and you have to be able to have that understanding and understand how to sort of manage effectively to get the best out of everyone.
Okay. Collaborative skills would like to be a characteristic seen in the next superintendent. Okay. And the understanding of culture. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah. All right. That person has to have the characteristics of wanting to be able to meet with the students. The students will tell you now. Yeah, they'll tell you. They sure will. Yes, sir.
I don't want a superintendent who thinks, before me there was governance. Where a lot of them, they all just want to pee on the iPad and break things. We have the highest performing pre-K system in the U.S. for 18 consecutive years according to independent evaluations with integrated reliability that's been published from day one. Even before that, we had our kids busted at the 54th percentile in the first grade. Even though it was poor year. We don't have that now. We have this program where we grow kids 20 months developmentally, it's 4 years. But by the third grade, we have the lowest scores in the state. That's a failure of leadership. Back to John's point about needing an instructional leader who understands what's right and wrong in K2.
Okay.
It means developmentally appropriate practices, not giving kindergartners 90-minute reading lessons. I can't sit still for 90 minutes.
Kidding. All right. So basically, your point is you don't want someone to come in and think that the district is what, just,
Good and bad are all given equal weight
yeah,
because they're about the, and on that point, no superintendents would use this as a stepping stone.
okay,
That didn't work either.
okay, all right, so, all right, got it. All right, yes.
I know that time is of the essence for our district, and doing things in a week is important. I do think that we should be thoughtful on selecting positions are and assignments are. But I also wonder if we keep an eye on candidates within our community who, because time is of essence, I know that there's a considerable amount of work that needs to happen to build relationships in order to, and to understand, in order to be able to move in a direction. And if we find somebody within our community that already has relationships, knows our district, knows our community, I think we could be that much positioned to move versus waiting to do another year of look and listen before we can move.
Well, I don't think it's going to be another year of look and listen, but you have to pace yourself on these kinds of things. You gotta vet the people that you are going to bring in, whether they be local or from somewhere else. You have to, a lot of times we go into searches on folks and we find some things that you would never get from an interview. So you have to be very, very careful when you're going through that process. But I feel like, there's an understanding that it's not going to be a drawn out, but I think it's understanding that it's going to be thorough. That's what I've come together. Okay? Yes.
There's a clear vision and mission of the city school district. What I've noticed is that every time we get a new superintendent, we come up with a whole new vision and mission. So we're constantly going back to things that we did maybe 8 years ago and then trying to bring things back again, or that shouldn't be happening regardless of your superintendent. Let's stick with the vision and mission of the district as a whole, which I think that comes from the governance of the board, instead of changing the vision and mission every time you get a new superintendent. So it almost feels like you're going around in this vicious circle.
One thing that,
Be very clear. What is our mission and vision, and let's stick with that regardless of whoever, if that superintendent leaves after 2, 3 years, we still keep the same mission and vision.
okay, and that's,
Unless I'm wrong.
well, that's proven to work a lot of times, and that's why you set a vision and mission, because board member might not be there, superintendent might not be there. Superintendent might say, hey, I want to go somewhere else. I want to do something else. Board member might say, hey, I've had this thing long enough. I'm retiring, or I'm going on to something else. You have that as options. But if the district has a vision and mission, then you follow through with your vision and your mission. And if you strategically plan well, then your budget falls into place, and all those things really make some things happen for you. But you have to kind of stay the course, and our goal is to get someone who's going to be here. All of us have been in districts for multiple years, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years. It takes that kind of duration to really see some things come to fruition. So our goal is to find someone who wants to be in Rochester, New York, and who's going to stay in Rochester, New York. I retired in Columbia, South Carolina, and I still live in Columbia, South Carolina. Sir? Hey, they won't, no, they won't last. I thought that when I got off that airplane yesterday. So I'm not going to last. Oh. Yes, sir. Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what the mission should be that.
Yeah.
Here to educate children. So all of us come in, I've been here a long time too, there's a lot of superintendents. And when you see folks changing and having all these plans and these new visions and missions because they don't have a theory of action, you know, to say, how we're going to get from where we are to where we need to be.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sugarcoat that, dress up with all of these, you know,
You know, if,
missions and then,
yeah,
no, our mission is to educate our children. And our going to get help us get there.
yeah.
Not mislead myself.
One of the goals, let's say your goal is to increase your graduation rate 5% or 5 percentage points per year. Then if that's one of your goals within the mission, then of course, no matter who comes in, if you're in year 3 of trying to get to that 25 percentage points, then that person should be moving in that direction. Because every time you reboot, you know, you lose people. They get frustrated, you know, that type thing. So that's why we're trying to build all of this and get this information from you. So when we build a profile, we can tell candidates, here's what they're looking for. And as I mentor superintendents, and I tell them, every district isn't for you. If you don't have the skill sets for that particular district, don't take it just to say I'm a superintendent. And that's why you have to check the track record to see if people have done these things, if they have improved graduation rate, if they have understood culture, if they are collaborative in working with people. All that shows up. It shows up. You know, you make one phone call to somebody, there's no district someone's going to come from that somebody in this district won't know somebody who lives there.
I don't mean to go backwards, but going back to the challenges,
Yes, sir? We never left them.
okay, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, you should be able to learn too.
Hey, man, my running day is over. Let me be clear.
We have two things that are running like, they're growing, I mean, tremendously.
Okay,
The social media piece
okay,
and the game piece.
okay,
So
okay.
with the new superintendent coming in, we don't spend a lot of time on it, but I don't want us looking like Chicago in the next 5 years.
Got you.
So, and where we're heading with social media and the things that they're doing, that's something that needs to be on this list.
Okay, so that person needs to understand social media, and he needs to understand that there is gang involvement. And a lot of times, you know, cities don't like to admit that, but you can't fix it if you don't admit it. You know, you can operate with your head in the sand, but that's not going to move that situation out. And you have to address it, and not just the school district. You know, you have to address it with the entire community. And the work in the school district, the entire community has to surround it. If you're going to get what you want to get out of the school district, just the people in the district won't make it happen alone. It won't be a solo process. You know, the superintendent, I would tell those, you don't wear an S on your chest. You're not coming in to be Superman or Superwoman. If you think that's the case, you definitely won't last long. You know, you burn yourself out in 6 months. You have to collaborate. You have to work with people. You have to hear from people. You know, you have to go shop at the grocery store. You have to maybe go to a different church every Sunday. Those kinds of things. You have to be where the people are. You know, so, you know, that's kind of what we're looking for here. Somebody who's going to be where the people are. Yes?
And to champion, because again, when you think about our children and our schools, and they have self-esteem, and so it's hard to be under a district that is always held negative.
Yes.
And so we have to have a superintendent that can go to any child and say, you are somebody, and encourage them, because you almost want a superintendent to be that rock star, that champion, to push the district and to do that heavy lift to say, not only with staff, but also with students, you are able to do anything you want to do. And part of that, in our community, we have a disconnect with our alumni and our district, and we have to have a superintendent that bridges that gap.
Okay. All right. All right. Because I've already heard that you have some rock star students. And, you know, and I told you, I've met a couple of them. And I was very impressed. Other areas?
Superintendent is a leader that leads, not try to manage people. You're a leader. I don't think you should manage it. You don't even manage yourself, do you? Unless I have to listen.
Time management.
Time management, that's one thing, but I'm saying lead to lead, so that you know how to guide versus trying to micromanage or micromanage people to do certain things only the way you want it without really, and maybe selecting your right team, I guess, making sure that they have the talent, the skill sets to do the job.
Yeah, I think that's very important. As a superintendent, I was as good as my team. You know, they worked very hard. They knew my expectations. Yeah, yeah. You know, and that's very important. You have to have a team. You have to have people you can trust, and people who are going to give you the straight of it. They're not just people who are going to say yes every time you ask a question.
Now, see,
You know.
that's easier said than done, because being a yes person gives you something versus being the person that tells you like it is, and then you don't want to hear it. That's where it takes a strong leader. That's my point.
Oh yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
Dr. Mack,
Uh-huh.
Superintendent 101.
Yes, sir.
We should introduce board members.
Oh well.
Yes,
All right.
President White is here to join us today.
Thank you, President White.
So Beatrice LeBron.
LeBron, Mr. LeBron, thank you. We had a chance to meet with them, and they were very informative with us. All right?
We have a lot of silos.
Okay.
I look at it like a beach challenge, a beach, but we turned our beach into sandboxes. Everybody got these little bitty individual sandboxes. And you got to ask for permission to play in that sandbox. You got to ask for permission to go inside that sandbox. The district, to me, this is public, and really it belongs to the parent and the student, so it should be a beach. Our district has had so many different silos and cliques, and they're powerful silos and cliques. And trying to maneuver through the district to work around that is chaos. We need somebody basically going to come in and drop a nuke bomb and just blow all over us.
Yeah, that's a challenge. Hey, we're not looking for dive bombers now. We're trying to get a superintendent. Okay, well, one thing, removal of the silos.
And that is in Dr. King's report.
Okay.
About that as being an issue that we need to stop working with.
Yes, yes, because it should be, what did you say, all for one and one for all? It's kind of what we used to say when we used to break the huddle as a team. Kevin? Any others? This is our second day.
Because you have so many challenges, as you can imagine. So many challenges that matter. It's not that there's some things you can touch with by. You know, we can talk to you. I'm sure everyone here, to you in the face. And so we don't believe that the superintendent is going to be able to solve all of our problems.
Certainly.
But to be able to work collaboratively and listen, to be willing to listen to people. When you come in the system and you don't know the history, but you're unwilling to listen to those who do and take that advice, that's a recipe for failure too.
Yeah.
And when folks when they get their feet wet, they find out, wow, this is real, you know, and they usually be with accident. That's why we can't keep them together, because you started off with the wrong plan of action. Your plan of action should be serving the people, collaborating with the people. I want to understand what their needs are, what's the issue, what can we do to make this a viable school district so students can thrive. Nothing about adults should be at the forefront. Should not be about adult issues and concerns about satisfying adults. And we have too much of that. We have top-heavy administration at the central level. People you don't even need. You can outsource a whole lot of this. You know, but it's all about focusing on people and not being efficient in what we're doing to make sure we meet the needs of the students. And that's the problem that we've always had. I've been
Okay, well, um, and basically what you're saying is that it's going to take a minute, and it goes back to what I said earlier. You want longevity in your superintendent. They can't fix all these challenges in 1 or 2 years. Won't happen. I don't care who you bring in. They have to prioritize the challenges and go after the ones that's gonna help kids achieve and perform, and then follow through on the rest of them. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, again, we said you don't wear an S on your chest. You have to involve good people to do the work. People who want to do the work, who going to completers. Yes.
Segueing on my colleagues' remarks on media savvy, obviously every school is going to have some media savvy. One of the challenges they're going to have is the local media will print that S on that superintendent. Since the early 90s, in the dysfunctional family of Greater Rochester, the family scapegoat has been the Rochester City School District. Now, we're in hard times now, and there's no question about it. But even when we were in good times, we were the media's favorite scapegoat. There's a whole constituency that loves to hate the Rochester City School District. And to your point about this isn't going to happen overnight, is a superintendent who understands they're going to have to kind of take the media, colleagues in that, and reorient them. And also dial down the instant superintendent, the instant superintendent. People say, you call it John Fitzgerald, Franklin Delano Jones.
Yeah.
So the media is a real problem. It's been a very destructive force over the years. I've been here for 30 years now, and they've not been helpful.
You find that a lot of times in a lot of urban districts. Had that in Dayton. I mean, if you dropped the toothpick, it was a story above the fold. You know, hey, you had to be ready. They make you want to go downtown and fight. But no, but you have to have someone who understands the media, who understands what to say, when to say it, if they're going to say it. You can't address it all, but and you have to be honest with the media, because if they ever catch you not, then they're gonna really dig in on you then. You know, it's best to say, hey, yeah, it happened. We're working on it. We're gonna fix it, and move on about your business. Because hey, once you admit, they kind of leave you alone. Hold on, 1 second. This lady, hey, I got to get my new people. Come on. Right. Have to analyze. Okay. All right, so you have to have someone with great analytical skills. So they have to be able to dissect it and say what's going on. All right, yes, ma'am. Now, come on.
Well, I was just mentioning that, with communications, we are savvy, I think,
Now, I saw some smiles and I saw some frowns. So, so now, somebody enlighten me on who those two groups are. Teachers do not report. All teachers, raise your hands. That's why she said it. All right, and everybody else in central office. Hey, you know that might change before in the morning, really. I mean, you know, it starts out that way because of the children and what have you, and you don't want. Let me tell you what, you don't want them on those street corners with 1 degree and some wind chill. They won't make it. They don't dress appropriately, you know, and that type of thing is real tough on them. So, we're done? All right, we'll do that. We'll take all those who had hands up. Young lady, talk to me.
So I can only speak from my position in the arts department, but I would say that our district has a really strong visual, musical, and performance art program throughout the district. I think we're really lucky to have some really creative students and folks that are really interested in helping them along.
How well do you publicize it?
I think they're trying to grow it more, the social media use of it.
Yeah, you got to publicize that. You know, really, those highlights, you have to get them out there. You get, you know, when I went to Dayton, I said, look, we're not gonna have any best kept secrets. We're gonna put it out. People gonna know what we're doing. Every time they have a negative story, we're gonna have 3 positive stories, and you know, you have to work at it. Like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. You know. Yeah. Yeah, you have to be ready. Hey, got to do it. Another one? Okay, come on.
Challenges, they're both free. For us, like for me as an arts teacher, it would be greater for us to have opportunities to work together as a department more frequently.
Okay.
Time to work together as a department. I don't know about other departments, but I imagine some other people must feel the same way. To have time to collaborate, time to talk about what's working for them, what's not working, things that we can do together to collaborate across buildings at different levels between elementary, middle, and high school.
Okay. So time to collaborate.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's a challenge. They need some time. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Based on relationships that I've founded with my students, it seems across the district, and I know that it's pretty much everywhere, that we could really use more emotional and social support for our students. We need more psychologists, more psychiatrists, more counselors, people in the buildings who can actually talk to the kids about the things that they're experiencing and going through, because as much as we can give of ourselves to our students, it only goes to a certain end, and if you only have somebody who's there on Mondays and Thursdays to talk to kids about their issues, well, that must suggest that they don't have issues on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday.
Okay.
That's just not,
Yeah.
it just doesn't seem realistic.
Yeah. You have some that's going to have an issue every day. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, the gentleman right here was talking about some of that in his early conversations. We need to have some training in those areas. Okay. Right. Right. Okay. I'll be right to you.
In terms of characteristics of a superintendent is a person that has integrity.
Okay.
So they have moral principles, and I just feel like that's important.
Okay. Integrity. Good morals. Needs a parent on his cabinet. Okay, all right. We got it down. Yes, sir, in the back. Now, what you mean by generally? You mean that sometimes they love me, sometimes they don't? Genuinely, okay. I thought you said generally. Genuine love, you got it. Okay, that's better. Hey, got you. All right. Last one, come on.
No, the home audience just asked if you could repeat the questions because they can't hear it.
Oh, they should have texted you about an hour ago.
Stability without getting all uptight and upset, where you, like an Obama,
Okay.
there's Obama, that kind of persona, that kind of characteristic where,
I'll call him up and see if he's interested.
no, I'm serious, he was always very consistent regardless of things going on that were, and I think we need someone like that with our district.
Okay, someone who's not going to blow a gasket. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen at home, I'm sorry we didn't repeat the questions, but you probably understood some of them. The issues that we were discussing were challenges for the district, strengths of the district, and characteristics that would like to be seen in the new superintendent who will be joining this school district. The individuals here are teachers and central office folks and board members. We want to thank everybody for coming. Now, in other words, all schools are closed tomorrow. Is that right? Okay, so everyone who's listening at home, all schools are closed for students tomorrow. The forum will also be closed tomorrow that we will have because it may be difficulty in people moving around, and we don't want anybody having any accidents or anything like that. There's one tonight, yes, at East High School. Thank you very much, because he's been saying Eastern all day. East High School. So parents who are watching the streaming, we will have a forum tonight at East High School at 6:30. So please come out and share your opinions tonight at 6:30. And again, to everyone here, thanks very much for being with us.